everyone, I'm Catherine. After months of collecting entries from various women leaders in the marketing industry, we are here today to celebrate the winners of the Empowered Women Awards 2023. Joining us today is an empowered woman who is the top winner of her category, Empowered Women in Marketing. I'm honored to welcome Ayaan Mohamud, Regional Vice President for Marketing at Impact.com, a partnership management platform. Hi, Ayaan. Welcome.
Thanks, Catherine. Lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's jump right into the first question and talk about empowering women leaders in the industry. Now, on June 27, we had a live virtual awards ceremony that gathered so many inspiring women leaders and colleagues for the event. As the top winner in marketing at the Empowered Women Awards 2023, congratulations, by the way. How do you feel about the recognition?
Oh my gosh, super humbling to receive this award. I think for many marketers, they would agree with me that very often we spend time pushing other people forward and also entering awards for our companies and other team members. So I feel super grateful to have actually received this prestigious award myself. You know, being on that webinar, the sheer number of remarkable women that are making a huge contribution to this industry all across the region is just so inspiring, and it feels really surreal to kind of be taking home this award. But thank you so much to the judges for choosing me as a winner and for recognizing all the hard work. Something that was also really strange for me and a huge growth moment was, you know, over the last 4 years that I've been at Impact.com, I started as an individual contributor. So, you know, being in the weeds every day, doing the work, and now becoming a leader responsible for high performance team across so many different countries. I'm a little bit more removed from the day-to-day, but now my job is to kind of lead those team members and make them successful. And it's just been a really rewarding journey and a real growth development for me.
I love that. And we're looking forward to more from your high performance team and of course your growth as a leader. Now, speaking of leadership, let's talk about the essence of effective and results-driven leadership. Given your wide network of partnerships with media agencies as well as globally recognized brands, what have you learned about the essence of being an effective and results-driven leader?
Great question, Catherine. I firmly believe in embracing progress rather than striving for perfection. So throughout my career, I've always had a GSD attitude, which stands for getting stuff done. I've gravitated towards roles that allow me to exercise my love for creativity, for autonomy, and also I love building brands and teams from the ground up. I really love witnessing their growth and success, and that's really fulfilling for me. I find it really satisfying as well to empower individuals to really harness their strengths. So I've spent a lot of time trying to get to know myself better and trying to figure out what my core strengths are. And I really, you know, encourage the team to find out what's their superpower and kind of hone in on that. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. We're in a high growth industry, in a high growth company. So, you know, you have to make mistakes, learn from them, and just try different things. And I think giving my team a safe space to fail has really been something that's driven our success as well. And our MD, I love quoting some of his quotes. He believes in creating irrational customer love. So that's another thing. Not only are we just focused on new customer acquisition and bringing new business into Impact.com, but we actually want to build a community and build out this partnerships ecosystem across both Asia, but also the world. And creating that irrational love with our customers and our partners is super important and is one of the reasons I think that we're also seeing a lot of success. And then finally, I think what's really important is being flexible and being adaptable. And I don't want to use the word pivot because we used that so much a couple of years ago. I think in our roles with how dynamic the industry is, how dynamic also consumer behavior is, we have to be able to shift our focus occasionally. So I always believe it's really important to know what is your North Star? What is that really long-term goal for you as an individual, for you as a team, but also for the business? And then knowing that we can shift our short-term strategies or our tactics as long as it all serves the wider goal. It's so hard to be able to know what's going to happen in a few months' time. And I think COVID taught us that, you know, you have those annual plans and we have to rip them up and completely start from scratch. And I think there's still a lot of that happens in our day-to-day where a new thing comes out, all of a sudden everyone's freaking out and thinking, what do we need to do there? So I think as a marketer, it's really important to be flexible and adapt and focus on what you can control.
That's really commendable, Ayaan, and I wholeheartedly agree. Leadership is really about empowering others to explore and bring out their potential growth of an entire team. And now that you've been in Impact for 4 years, and as you've witnessed a lot of brands growth and seen a lot of changes in the partnership economy, what do you think are the key positive trends in this space?
I I think it's a really exciting time to be in this economy. Number one, consumer behavior is changing so much. I came from a traditional advertising background, working in programmatic, and I think advertising just isn't as effective as it once was. Interrupting consumers with flashy banners and things that they need to click away. I think that can be really disruptive, and you can see that in the stats around consumers installing ad blockers. So instead, what we're saying is we're seeing this shift to consumers looking for communities and content sites or influencers and creators that they trust. So it's a little bit like back in the day where you get your recommendations and referrals from your friends and people that you know, but now this is happening at a huge scale online. You are passionate about fitness or health or something, you've got your community, you go and get your tips from certain creators that you follow, you read a lot of blog content about comparing different products, benefits, and I just find that there's this whole movement towards people wanting to connect with brands authentically, understanding like what makes them different from another brand and understanding your purpose, and then also leaning onto those communities to see where you can get recommendations and referrals for new products, for new services. At least that's how I discover a lot of the things that I buy these days. And so the technology that we have actually empowers brands to be able to create these partnerships with any third party, whether that is a content creator, whether that is a publisher that's doing reviews and recommendations, or it's another business that has a complementary audience, and kind of creating a partnership together that not only has a win-win for both of those parties, but also for the consumer at the end of the day. So I think from a marketer's perspective, especially in the current economic climate, it's important to know what ROI you're going to get. It's really hard to argue for budget for things where you're not really sure if it's going to work or not. And the partnership industry is really resilient and reliable because it's only on a pay for performance. You're only paying for the results that you're getting. So that, I think, from a budget conscious marketer's perspective, that's really important. I think some of those trends towards working more with creators, working with a channel that gives you clear ROI, I think those two key trends that we're seeing.
So Ayaan, now that we've talked about your thoughts and insights on the partnership economy and your leadership, for the last question, let's talk about women in leadership. What is your number one advice for aspiring women leaders in order to identify the skills they need to map out their future career paths?
This is a good one, and I kind of wish someone had told me this when I was younger. My number one tip is to always be curious and ask for feedback. Talk to people on your team, talk to people in other departments that you work with, and even your friends. Sometimes it's not as easy or as obvious for you to figure out what your strengths are. And sometimes something that you think might be a strength, you might have something completely different that you didn't realize. Like what I've learned over the last few years is that feedback is a gift, that you shouldn't be afraid to ask for it and nurture that network. Because I think my last 3 roles have been through people that I've met in my network, that I've stayed in touch with, that I've asked questions. How did you get here? What skills do you need? What are some of the challenges? And just have those open conversations. So I think for aspiring young women, just always be curious and ask for feedback, because you never know what your superpower might be. Some people know it, some people are yet to discover it, but lean into it when you do and nurture it.
That was really wonderful, Ayaan. Always be curious and ask for feedback so you find out your superpower. So talk to your team. Thank you so much, Ayaan, for that wonderful conversation we had just there. I'm sure our audience has gained valuable insights as much as I have.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And thanks for the time.
That was Ayaan Mohamud, Regional Vice President for Marketing at Impact.com. Truly an inspiring, empowered woman. See you again on our next episode of the Empowered Women Series 2023. This is Catherine, and let's keep learning every day.